Hey, Anti, let's play pretend politics.
What are you doing, bro?
We'll vote on sharing this biscuit. Wait, you don't vote. It's all mine.
What? That's messed up, bro. What is wrong with you? Caucus or primary. Regardless of what your state has, should you participate? Maybe you've thought about canvassing, or maybe you're not even sure if you're gonna vote. Well, tonight on TMF Debates, we're going to look at the social issues surrounding should you be politically active by showing you the two loudest sides so you'll know where each side is coming from. Tonight, we have Pro, who's completely convinced that you absolutely should be politically active. And then we have Anti, who's adamant that political apathy, there's nothing wrong with it. If at any point you hear anything you agree or disagree with, please join the debate in the comments section down below and consider subscribing so you're back here in 2 weeks when we take these two sides to a middle ground. Tonight's episode will follow the same set rules of opening statements, followed by verbal fisticuffs and closing remarks. But now, let's go ahead and have our own caucus, if one can even do that with themselves. Well, Anti, would you like to start us off? Thank you, moderator. I was raised not to discuss politics at the dinner table and to leave that to the experts. This has been a wonderful approach to my non-confrontational lifestyle, because as soon as you go political, there will be someone who throws a hissy fit about your opinion, so why even try? I think it takes someone special who loves to battle, bicker, and bullshit to even want to start into politics. And those on my side? Simply put, we don't need that stress in our lives. I feel like many people could probably relate to that. But before we get started, Pro, what are your 2 cents?
Appreciate it, moderator. The simple fact is that our current corrupt politicians thrive off our common inability to participate in the easiest of activities. Most people by the age of 10 have learned how to read, talk to other people with coherency, and scribble their name. The literal 3 only skills you need to participate in politics, an activity that is vastly more important than any social media drama, TV series, or sporting event. When we are honest with ourselves on why people don't participate in politics, it only ever boils down to laziness and masochism.
Wow. You don't even have to be a political pundit to understand that those were fighting words. Actually, speaking of battles, it's time to TMF Debate! I understand that you consider politics essential to our society, and it'd be hard to argue against that. My side's main stance is just that with how many people live here, they can go out and vote, they can be involved, and I can stay at home and live in peace. See? It's a win-win. Not everyone has to be involved.
No! It's not that simple. If we allow for the Good Samaritan effect to plague our political system, then the current corrupt politicians are going to stay in power. And we are not even going to have a remotely effective political system because it's going to become stagnant. Fresh blood ensures that a nation doesn't get stuck in the past. And by your logic, we literally never get beyond the status quo.
The status quo seems fine to me. I'm not really inconvenienced by society. I have a normal job, normal family, normal car, normal everything that you really go into, like that basic normal stereotype. And you're over here acting like the world's on fire and society is falling apart without people like me participating. It's not. Those who are involved in politics tend to do it out of the goodness of their own heart and wanting to give back to the society that they serve, and are doing a mighty fine job at it, I might add. In built-up areas, we have operating water, electricity, good roads to drive on. You know, society seems to be in pretty good hands right now, so why would I want to get involved and mess it up?
Well, you are technically correct that our nation has a great image of functionality. In reality, we are teetering on the edge of complete destruction. Sure, the white population is just fine most of the time, but in many areas, water is not drinkable. Electricity is super expensive to the point that many families freeze during the winter. And then there's healthcare. We could literally spend the rest of this episode just talking about how expensive it is and how inexpensive it should be. But it's not going to be, because the powers that be do not care about you. And the only way to change that is to get involved. So if you don't get involved, you'll have no idea how many freedoms and dollars they are stealing from you as you just sit around and do nothing.
Okay, first, and I don't mean to offend, but I feel like you need to take a step back from this whole racist angle thing and accept that the world's not as black and white as you think it is. If we were a racist country, you really think that we'd have as many diverse celebrities as we do? Second, I feel like you're ignoring the fact that not every state has the same economy. Capitalism is complex, and truth be told, not every state is a tourist hotspot or has a proper exportable industry. Now, I could go to school and study economics and become an expert, but in America, aren't we encouraged to chase our passions? Some people are passionate about politics in the public sector, and all the power to them. But I feel like you really shouldn't shame those of us who have different passions.
Oh, come on. You do not have to be passionate about politics to be involved. You just need to take the bare minimum of time to be informed. There are way too many people out there that are intimately familiar with a TV cast's characters, like in the real world and in the fictional world. Doesn't matter. They know everything, yet they know nothing about our nation's politics or presidents. And I cannot stand those excuses like, I can't handle the news, or I don't have the time. Like, no! You can escape into your TV after you've taken the bare minimum of time to be informed. It really doesn't take as much time as many people think. And how else are you going to know if you're sleeping with the enemy, so to speak? I bet there's like tons of couples out there that probably should get divorced, but they're all stuck in this Netflix-induced autopilot, and so they don't even know who they are, let alone their partners.
How dare you insist that I have to leave my loved ones over political differences? Where do you get off? There are many of us who just don't pay attention enough to be stressed out like you, and that's fine. And to be honest, after seeing what passion in politics has turned you into, I don't want to add that to my life anytime soon. If that's what it looks like to be involved, well then, my friend, ignorance is my bliss. Seriously, now that you both have doubled down into the extreme ends of both of your sides, we're only going to risk more isolation and anger if we continue this debate. But we got to get to closing statements. Would you start us off?
Not paying attention to politics is like having a severe allergic reaction to certain foods and making no attempt to avoid those ingredients. Being active in politics is such an overwhelmingly net positive and will have lasting effects on the nation and our generations to come. Seriously, what are you going to tell your children when you're on your deathbed? Sorry, I couldn't handle an extra amount of little stress to just help better your future? Pathetic.
You know, sometimes I can only imagine the comments. All right, Anti, lead us out. Look, the political arena is toxic. We all know this. And there are many people on my side, such as empaths, that can't handle that stress in their day-to-day. Other people on the Anti, we tried. You know, we went out and voted, we got involved, and still the worst outcome came of it. So why should we keep trying? If you want to vote and get involved, all the power to you. Go for it. But just be wary of condemning those who don't, because you don't know everyone's story. There are some of us who just can't handle it. There are others of us who've been defeated. And at the end of the day, not voting is still a vote. I don't know anymore. But we're not here to tell you what to think. We're just here to show you the two loudest sides so you know where they're coming from the next time that you have to deal with a pro or an anti surrounding the social debate of should you be politically active. Thank you very much for watching up to this point, and now let's wrap this episode up. Hit that notification bell down below to make sure you're back here in 2 weeks when we conclude this with our TMF Middle Ground. If you're watching this after the initial 2 weeks, just go ahead and click or tap right there to watch it now. Huge, massive shout out to my Patreon members for helping me bring safe debates to you and everyone you disagree with. As always, this has been TMF, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the time in whatever zone you find yourself. Get us!